All right, to the phones we go. Aaron is going to start us off in Tarpon Springs, Florida. Aaron, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
Aaron, I'm living the dream. How are you?
The same. Thank you.
Great. What's going on?
Well, I have a wonderful career as a physical therapist for the last 22 years, and I have a lot of things I'm passionate about. I'm on track to be debt-free within the next 6 months.
Yes.
I have 3 wonderful teenagers. The question I have is I am having a real difficult time prioritizing and trying to take those passions and make them into business opportunities.
Oh, this is a fun call. I can tell you that right now. So, how to prioritize these passionate ideas and see which one we go after first. So let's go with these ideas. Let's list them out. How many are we looking at today?
Quite a few.
Oh,
so you want me to start from the top?
Well, it depends how much time we have. How many are we talking about?
There's probably 4 or 5.
Okay, let's go for it. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give me number 1.
Okay. The first one is I am a musician and play the violin and sing. So the music has always been something that's been in the forefront. So music and taking my doctoral presentation that I did in my doctoral program as a physical therapist and changing that into a business opportunity.
All right, hold on. So hold on. So number 1 is violinist and singer.
And songwriter, yeah.
And songwriter. And number 2 is this doctoral, like your own business as a physical therapist.
Actually taking that and actually branching out and doing more education in terms of podcasts and
good.
Taking that into educating the community.
Okay, great. So I'm going to call that physical therapy content, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Mm-hmm. Number 3.
I guess we could just do those 2 because that's probably...
Oh, I like it. So you've already whittled down 4 or 5 to 2. What happened? What changed?
Well, I think that there's multiple things within those 2 things that with the music, I led worship for 10 years and deciding whether or not to go back into doing that.
Okay.
And then just spending more time doing the songwriting.
Okay.
So there's multiple things within those 2 ventures.
I got it. Okay. So I wrote down worship leader. And then, of course, we've got singer, songwriter, artist under music, right? Am I getting that?
Yes.
Okay.
You are.
All right. And then on the physical therapy content side, give me just a little bit more on what the multiple things are there. Are you talking about the podcast, maybe a blog, a book, something along those lines? Is that what you mean?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Got it. Well, so that's good. I can keep. So really we're talking about two ideas, two main areas of passion, and there's multiple things you can do within that. So, okay, I'm caught up. All right. And you love your job as a physical therapist. You work for somebody or do you work for yourself?
I love it. I work for a wonderful, large nonprofit hospital in Clearwater.
Okay, excellent. And I'm assuming you want to stay in that work for the time being.
I do, because that's what's helping. That's my stability for my family.
Yeah, but, well, it's a day job, dream job combo. I like this.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great.
Absolutely.
Let me ask a silly question that may not be so silly. Is it possible that the answer is all of the above? It's not A or B, it's C, all of the above on some level. Is that possible?
Absolutely. It's just finding the time to be able to do it and feel like I'm moving forward with all of them.
Well, and that's what I wanted to address. So I'm glad you said yes, because that was my idea. And so I don't think it's finding the time. I think it is choosing the season. I think that's the new narrative. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That's how I've loved my life.
Yeah.
It's a season.
Yeah, because how old are the kids?
19, 16, and 14.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me, but I've got a 15 and 12 and 12. And it's going so lightning fast, isn't it? I mean, it's crazy.
It is. It's a nonstop. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's a season thing, but I think that you can dabble in both on purpose. So because you're so clear and it is all of the above, I think it's choosing how to dabble on purpose. So of the 2, the music expression and all the opportunities there, and then the physical therapy content, Is there a
Yeah.
leader on the scoreboard? If you had to rank one, is there a leader as to, if I told you, okay, Aaron, you can do all of these, but it's a season thing, not all at the same time to the level that you probably want to do them. I can give you more. You got to choose, but we can get one going a little bit faster than the other. Which one would you choose?
I think in order to keep moving forward, to pay off my debt, and it would be the doctoral capstone content podcast.
Yeah.
And then I have songwriting groups that I continue to write with, so that
Great.
can definitely.
See, you know what I call that?
I want to make sure that I prioritize for that.
Yeah, but you know what that is? That becomes an artistic, intentional hobby. So you keep engaging with those groups like that, but you're not trying to do a whole bunch with it. If something develops out of that certain amount of time that you need to give to that, just keeps your soul fired up in that specific area of passion, because you love doing that kind of work, that creating. But if something develops, wonderful. But I think right now, yeah, you're going to you have limited time. So whatever you're already doing there, if you can add a little something to the music side, great. But you've got X amount of hours. So I'm not going to make you walk through all the details, because you can do this on your own. But your homework assignment is to go, how many hours a week do I have outside of my job and my family? How many hours? So that is a finite amount of time. And so that becomes our block. And I'm just going to use this as an example for easy numbers. Let's say it's 15 hours. It might be 20. I don't know. But you look at that block of 15 hours and we go, okay, I'm already doing this writing group and I do that twice a month and it's this many hours. You know, you just play with it like a budget. Then you take that 15 hours a week and you do times 4, right? And so that's 60 hours in a month. And we go, I'm going to budget those 60 hours each month. And so I'm going to end up giving 10 hours to the music thing with that little writing group that I do and blah, 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 blah. Maybe I lead worship once a month, or I'm on the worship team once a month, whatever. And then you walk through, okay, I've got, so if I do that for 10 hours, now I've got 50 hours to give to creating content around my physical therapy doctoral project, essay. I'm sorry, I'm not saying that right, but you know what I'm going with here. And so what you do is you go, okay, I'm going to launch a podcast. And I'm going to launch a website with the podcast, and I'm going to do a certain amount of social media content. But I think it's just you budgeting those hours, and you put a little bit more into the physical therapy content to be able to generate side hustle money and some mailbox money down the road, and even maybe some really awesome options. And then once the kids, are kind of gone and moving on or whatever that looks like, or they get more involved, the youngest one gets more involved, one leaves the house, now you're down from 3 to 2. Then you decide, okay, I've got a little bit more hours, and you redo that budget of time. I just think that's the way to do it all.
Absolutely. And then if it happens to be, I went to grad school to support my music habit. So that, I gave the physical therapy the priority, but if it was music, I would just change that around.
Change it around.
And go and continue to work towards that, taking the inventory as you were talking about earlier.
Yeah. I just think you have limited amount of time. All parents do, certainly moms, working moms. And I think that when you realize there are seasons where I'm going to be able to give more hours to music, there are seasons where I'm going to be able to give more hours to the physical therapy stuff. I just think it keeps you feeling like I am doing it all. I'm just not doing it all at once to the level that I want to do. That's impossible, and that creates a lot of confusion and frustration. So I think that perspective with that kind of practical budget of time, I think you're going to be so rewarded by that. And you can change it anytime you want. You're in charge.
Just want to stay healthy doing it.
And that's the way to stay healthy, is to guard yourself and go, look, realistically, if I do more than 15 hours a week, 60 hours a month, I'm crossing some boundaries. So it's very simple.
Yeah. And definitely empowering the kids to do more to free up some of the time for myself as well.
Yeah. My wife and I are in that season right now trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? We're trying to figure that out too. And so you got this. I gave you the formula. That'll work. I promise. Thank you so much for the call.